Hey everyone, Elle Nagy here with a rich life upgrade just for you today around the conversation of self. Now, understanding and respecting that each conversation finds us in the divine moment that we are ready to hear it. So, you might have been listening to a lot of manifestation teachers talking about the future self and how we can collapse the time of manifestation by embodying the future self today. Except in the realm of consciousness, in the realm of creation, there is no time. There is only the now. So, what is really happening? As we are going through life, we create, we birth new desires of what we want to experience next. This is either happening consciously through contrast in this sucks, I want to experience that instead, or this is great, I would like that even more, or unconsciously, just this constant awareness of the inner being, of life as it's unfolding and how it's being experienced. And based on the feelings of the human, the being can then tap into what is personal preference and what is not. And what is the next personal preference that the human desires to experience? So, in the moment of the desire being born in the realm of 4D consciousness, the inner being becomes the version of you that is already experiencing it. It's instant, it's right now, right here. And that inner being, being you, is available to you right now. However, as humans, we take a little bit longer to catch up to these things. So we created the idea of a future self and then aspiring to become the future self with the promise that the future self is going to have a specific experience. The thing about the future self is that it keeps us in high achiever consciousness. The high achiever is always focused on what is next. How do I become better? How do I achieve the next goal? And what I have come to discover is that this future orientation really robs us from a rich life right here, right now. Because the artist consciousness is very present to the now. The artist consciousness is actually really attuned to everything that is present and then creating intentionally what is to be next. The artist consciousness is your inner being, is your grandest version self. Now, I want to be careful with using the word grandest self, which is borrowed from Neil Donald Walsh when he talks about your grandest self living your greatest vision. Such delicious words. But the caution here is that you don't automatically project onto yourself the idea of what your grandest self looks like based on your conditioning, on your social values. Maybe your grandest self is dressed up in furs and pearls and diamonds and high heels, and that is fantastic. But maybe she's not. Maybe she's a jeans and sneakers girl that just loves being outside during the day, that's really at ease in nature, and that is in fact your grandest self. So I don't want us to get caught up by the word grandest self, but I want you to really start thinking of who is your grandest, your best self that you know is available to you right here, right now on the inner plane. This is the woman who knows for certain that all her desires are attuned to universal consciousness and that it is already done. This is the woman who has great confidence, who loves creativity, who's very present in her life. The woman who is focused on the good rather than being sidetracked and hyper focused on what's not working. So when we start understanding that there's levels of selves available to us right now, we can start seeing that some of those levels are really low on frequency, in fear consciousness, and just in doubt all of the time. Some of the levels of self that's available is operating in hope of what can be next. And some of the levels of self is already operating on that level of certainty. So instead of being focused on your future self, my invitation to you is to really take some time this week to journal, to meditate, to contemplate, to play with your imagination, to create for yourself the vision of your grandest self. Who is that woman that's living your most spectacular life? And you really want to focus on who she is before you focus on what the spectacular life looks like. Because as you start delving deeper and deeper into the certainty, into the creativity, into the what really floats your boat, your picture of the life starts changing according to that. So when you start taking time to contemplate about who your grandest self is, then you can start asking yourself moment to moment, am I choosing from my grandest self in this moment right here, right now? Or am I still choosing from a lower frequency self with no judgment, just observation? You just want to start attuning yourself into how you are operating, what the identity is that you're holding for yourself in this moment, and then seeing what is the result, what is the manifestation from this identity. And then experiment with what happens when I start making little choices, decisions, actions, speeches, conversations, relationships from a higher frequency self, from a more certain self, from a more desired, filled state self. This is how we attune ourselves to our richest life experience. And instead of thinking that that rich life is lying ahead of us somewhere in the future, we start seeing and experiencing the rich life that is available to all of us right here, right now. So if this is landing for you, please affirm this to the universe by saying, I am ready for my rich life experience in the comments. Be witnessed by us right now so that we can have more women shift out of fear consciousness of a high achiever and shift into the artist consciousness, experiencing a rich life. After all, you are the artist and the art. Make your life a masterpiece.